Hello, how to fill out Form 941 for 2021. Let's address Part 2 of Form 941 for 2021. Tell us about your deposit schedule and tax liability for this quarter. Well, should you deposit or should you pay your tax liability? There is more instructions on it, and on the Form 941 you'll be able to read it. But pretty much, if you are in business for at least 2 years, you use 2 years ago data. So if you look at 2 years ago, and if you make you pay tax during that calendar year for more than $50,000, then you are semi-weekly depositor. So at the beginning of every single calendar year, at the beginning of every single year, you have to decide, you have to choose your schedule. So if you are in business for that long, then if while you pay in taxes is $50,000 or less than $50,000, then you are a monthly depositor. If you are new though, it is your first time dealing with it, then if you expect having about $2,500 in taxes, then you can choose your schedule. So if during a quarter your tax is less than $2,500, you don't need to make a deposit. You can make a deposit, but you are not required to make a deposit. You can pay that tax when you file your Form 941. But you have to file your Form 941 by its due date to go with that option, so that you can pay your tax on time. If your tax during the quarter is $2,500 or more, then you have to make a deposit. So make that deposit following the deposit schedule that you decide to use during the calendar year, like at the beginning of the year. So you can read more about it in the instructions on page 15. And I will have the narrative as well. If I didn't cover everything, you will have the narrative as well. So if you decide to be a monthly depositor, a semi-weekly depositor is like you make deposit twice a week, and you make deposits via electronic fund transfer using EFTPS system. So you have to set up an EFTPS with IRS and pay them online electronically. So if you are a monthly depositor and at any time you find yourself with $100,000 tax liability, you pay that right away the next day. And from that point, you become a semi-weekly depositor until the end of the year, making deposit twice a week. So that's something to consider as well. But if that's your first time and you anticipate to have about $5,500 in taxes, you can choose a deposit and but when you file your quarterly tax return and you are below that $2,500, you can make a deposit, or you can just add a check and file the voucher, complete the voucher and add it to the form and send it in. So the narrative will be there just in case I didn't cover everything in the video. And that's pretty much what we will talk about in this session, whether you should make a deposit or pay your liability, your tax liability. And in the next session, we will see how you will complete part 2 based on the deposit schedule that you chose. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Afiavi Ojune Liberman, owners of Liberman Consulting, LLC.